Fellow YouTubers, we have a lot of groundbreaking things to cover today, so I'm going to cut the bull and I'm going to get right to the point. Chances are, if you're watching this video, your life's in a crapper. You're stuck in a rut, and no matter how hard you try to get out, you just can't seem to get there. Well, 3 bits of good news. First, you're not alone. Secondly, I used to be exactly where you are. And last, I'm going to throw you a lifeline that's going to change everything. Now, this video is vastly different than the ones that I normally post. This is something that I learned and I applied, and the transformation has been incredible. And that's why I want to share it with you. My only regret, I wish I knew this like 20 years ago. I mean, I'm 44 years old, and for the first time, I feel like I'm truly alive. No more burdens, no more worries, no more negativity swirling around inside my head. You see, the problem with problems is, unless you get to the real root, the issue or issues will continue to reappear. And that's what this video is all about, getting to and understanding the root cause of your anger or depression issue. And trust me when I say this, it's not what you think it is. So you may be wondering how I went from the internal Incredible Hulk to this new, happier, well-adjusted version of myself. Medication? No way. I don't even take Tylenol, let alone antipsychotic or antidepressant medication. Therapy perhaps? Back then I knew I was messed up. So why would I pay somebody to tell me what I already know? You see, at times we could be our own worst enemy, but with the power of knowledge, we can change all that. So if you're angry or depressed, that's okay. We're gonna roll up our sleeves, turn on our thinking brains, work together, and turn that bad old frown of yours upside down. Once you've learned this information, you can begin applying it. It takes some time and self-discipline, but in time you can master these techniques and become the person you've always wanted to be. Before we get to the nitty-gritty, you need to know that those who experience negative emotions on a consistent basis are more prone to disease. Break the word disease down, and what 2 words do you have? Dis-ease. Negative emotions cause serious harm to your health. Anger fires up your heart and liver. Fear affects your adrenals and kidneys. Anxiety affects digestion. Shock attacks your kidneys. Stress weakens your heart and brain. And worry weakens your stomach. That being said, let's get down to business. The first thing you need to understand is the 80-20 rule. 80% of what we do, say, and feel is controlled by our subconscious, and only 20% is us using our thinking brain to think things through and form rational thoughts and opinions. What would you think if I told you that all your emotions, good and bad, comes from your subconscious or your caveman brain, that dreaded 80% of our brain that subconsciously controls our life? But the good news is, now that you know that, you can change it. The next nugget of knowledge is the concept of emotional intelligence, or EQ. It's a big topic, but definitely worth exploring. But I'm going to simplify 2 of the most powerful brain facts you need to understand. Number 1, the phrase I want you to remember is, what fires together wires together. In our brain, we have tiny receptors called neural pathways. When we experience emotions, these neural pathways discharge. Remember in Return of the Jedi when the Emperor was zapping Luke Skywalker, trying to convince him to come to the dark side? Well, that's essentially what's happening inside your head. If you are constantly angry, frustrated, depressed, these neural pathways join together. Hence the phrase, what fires together wires together. When these pathways join, you have trained yourself and your brain to constantly feel angry or depressed. This is now who you have become, unless you reverse it. That is why some people are constantly upset or constantly happy. So fire up your positive neural pathways and turn away from the dark side. Here's the next important brain fact for your conscious brain arsenal. Have you ever heard somebody say, wow, that person is addicted to drama? That's because they are. When you experience any emotion, whether it be good or bad, your body naturally releases drugs in association with that particular emotion. Drugs are released and flood your thinking brain, which causes you to think irrationally. But more importantly, with long-term exposure, we become addicted. Subconsciously, you put yourself or keep yourself in negative situations so you can get your next hit. Once I learned this information, I immediately made the conscious choice that negative emotions will never, and I mean ever, control my life any further. A few times I caught myself reverting back to old ways. Because let's face it, old habits die hard. Once I consciously caught myself veering off to the bad road, I consciously made the choice and the decision to get back to the healthier, more happier path. When that moment happened, I truly realized the power that you can control your emotions and the course of your life. It doesn't mean you're going to ignore it. You're still going to deal with the situation. You're just not going to lose control of your emotions. You're going to respond differently. So what do you do when you experience these negative situations which conjure up these dark demons? Number 1, stop. Make the conscious decision to control your emotions. Redirect onto something else other than the negative situation. Do something positive that you enjoy doing, and know that does not mean going into Facebook. which is actually part 2 to this discussion. At this stage of the game, Facebook is not your friend. Trust me on this. Instead, go for a walk, read, exercise, spend time with a positive person. Focus on something positive and take your mind off the negative. If you can't, remove yourself completely from the situation, even if that means getting a new job, new boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife. So once you've stopped and made the conscious choice not to get upset, after you've centered yourself by taking a deep breath to relax yourself, once you've cut off that drug flow, once you've fired up your positive neural pathways, then you can go back to the issue clear-headed and make a conscious decision on how to respond to the situation. Take control of the reins and make your life the way you want it to be. I've given you the keys to the castle. Now it's time for you to unlock that door. Let's all make the conscious choice to control our negative emotions and to use more of our 20% and a whole lot less of our 80%. Congratulations, you have the knowledge, so you're halfway there to becoming the person you've always wanted to be. Now remember that this is a work in progress. Retraining your brain will take time, but I know you can do it. Once you've eradicated negative emotions and you start living a peaceful existence, you'll often wonder, how did I ever survive life before? Life is what you make it, so make it great.
Hey man, don't let the pink sunglasses fool you.